1.5 length lead. Gormley wins the front runner. Gormley takes the lead, and Gormley wins the Santa Anita Derby.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at Sunday's Spa Baby race. It kicks off the 50-cent late pick 4. It is race number 7, a full field of first-time starters, 10 juvenile fillies, all of them making their career debuts. Todd Pletcher has the morning line favorite, the number 9, Lucifer's Lair, 5-2 on the morning line. Jeremiah Engelhardt has a couple of first-time starters. This is a really intriguing group. Unfortunately, Nicole, we won't have access to the tote board. Our friends at home that are wagering on these races with DRF bets will, and that should be a big help in analyzing the chances of these horses.
Oh, very much so. I think we'll talk about it in a little bit when we get down to our picks, but I really think, and this is always a theme throughout the summer, that you're going to have to watch the board on this one. There's a couple horses in here who I think are primed for debut, a couple who I think will benefit with the experience, and I really think you're going to have to watch and see kind of where the word out is on some of these horses.
The number 1 is I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost, and this is one of the 2 Jeremiah Engelhardt trained runners. This is a filly by Ghost Zapper, sold for $190,000 in March after breezing a furlong in 10 seconds flat. This is a nice pedigree. The dam was very precocious. She won her career debut. She was a stakes place sprinter, and she's also a half-sister to Wood Memorial winner I Want Revenge.
Yeah, and I Want Revenge was good enough as a 2-year-old to break his maiden late in the season and then to be grade 1 place toward the end of the season at 2. Ghost Sapper over a Tail of the Cat mare. I do like the Ghost Sappers a bit more as they get a little bit older, but both of these stallions can produce speed. Both are good filly sires. Engelhardt does very well with his 2-year-olds. I like Jose Ortiz aboard for the debut. The only thing I really don't like about this filly is that she's got the rail, and you mentioned a sizable field for her debut. I think that might be a little bit intimidating for her.
Well, that's a good point. She's going to have to break very well lest she be shuffled back in the early portion of this short sprint. But you make a good point regarding Engelhardt, and that transitions into our formulator fact for both Engelhardt-trained first-time starters over the past 2 years. 2-year-old first-time starters in Saratoga maiden special weight dirt sprints, 31% winners, a positive ROI. I believe he scored with 4 individual winners last year. The number 2 in here is Stone Town, going out for trainer Bill Mott. This is a daughter of Tapazar, and she's a full sister to Tip Tap Tapazar, who was early, who was a sprint type. She's also a half to Divine Music, a stakes placed sprinter. So this filly has some speed early on in the female family, and then you go back, you get distance horses like Peaks and Valleys. Nice cross in this pedigree.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that, as you mentioned, the immediate family has produced some precocity and some speed, because you go back a little bit and all you find is stamina and older horses. Peaks and Valleys, who was a Canadian champion, hit his best stride at 3 and later. You also find horses like Higher Power, Alternation, Broken Bow in the family, all very good older horses. Bill Mott, we talk a lot about as a trainer who likes to give the 2-year-olds a race or two, and they're better on later. And that's the overall impression that I get from this horse.
I agree, and I feel the same way about the number 3, Baba, who goes out for Tom Albertrani, an excellent horseman who likes to take his time with his young horses. This filly is by Uncle Mo, who wins 15% with juvenile debut runners. The dam won 3 sprints. She's a half-sister to Tonalist, winner of the Belmont Stakes, Cigar Mile, Jockey Club Gold Cup. It's a nice pedigree. It's a pedigree that might appreciate a little bit of experience and a little bit more distance.
Oh, definitely. You mentioned Tonalist, who was a grade 1 winner at a mile, a grade 1 winner at a mile and a half. So just a classy dirt route horse. Other branches of the family, you see Harvard of Grace, Risk Averse. I think this one wants distance, especially being by young classic sire Uncle Mo. And this is another horse I'm going to take the wait and see approach a little bit. There is some speed early on in the family. The dam's a winning sprinter. Uncle Mo is certainly an outstanding 2-year-old sire. But overall, I really can't wait to see this horse stretch out.
This Uncle Mo Speightstown broodmare sire cross-produced Lauban, who won the Jim Dandy. So it's a really solid pedigree. We'll take a look at the Albertrani formulator fact. He's 0 for 27 over the past 5 years with 2-year-old debut runners in Saratoga maiden special weight dirt sprints. Maybe this horse will need a race. I wouldn't be surprised if they look forward to a nice late run and prepare for something later in the meet. The number 4 is Cal D, going out for trainer Brad Cox. Brad Cox and Javier Castellano last year sent out a first-time starter at Saratoga named British Idiom. She turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, she did just fine, going on to win the 2-year-old filly divisional title after winning at the Breeders' Cup. The sire of this one, More Than Ready, he was such a good 2-year-old himself, such a fast horse, and he's really turned into a versatile sire who can sire them sprinting, routing, turf, dirt. He's sired outstanding 2-year-olds like More Than Real, Rushing Fall. So I'm really going to be interested to see where Caldy eventually lands in her career, because the sire gives her a little bit of versatility.
I like these 5 furlong workouts leading up to her career debut. You really have to respect Brad Cox with anything that he puts on the track. This is one of those fillies that you want to watch the board for. If she takes a lot of early money, you can tell that she's live. Capstone Girl is up next for trainer Jeremiah Engelhardt. And I wonder if this filly might have turf in her future. She is by Hard Spun, a $185,000 buyback as a yearling. The dam was stakes-placed routing on the turf.
Yeah, that was definitely the impression that I got from this one. Hard Spun, another versatile type sire who can get them on turf and dirt. He's had a lot of international success. This one over a Johar mare, Johar winner of the Breeders' Cup Turf in a dead heat. You mentioned she's a stakes performer on turf. This is another one that I'm going to take a wait and see approach with. That seems to be the theme of this race.
A lot of eyes, Nicole, are going to be on the number 6 Peachy Queen from the first crop of the very popular and very fleet Run Happy, a $180,000 yearling. And as you see on the bottom of this pedigree, there's a lot of sprintability. There's a good amount of class. This filly is bred to be quick.
Yeah, this is a really terrific and really speedy female family. You see the big names there. Run Happy, of course, a champion sprinter, off the mark with a winner at Indiana. And his 2-year-olds are expected to run. Obviously, he's been robustly promoted, but his first juveniles to the sales this year are averaging more than 128,000. That's more than 5 times their conception stud fee of 25,000. People aren't just spending money like that, because of the advertising. Again, a lot of speed in the family, and this one has a bullet work July 9th at Saratoga.
Danny Gargan, high percentage trainer, trains Peachy Queen, and again, we expect her to be pretty quick. Trust Today is up next for trainer Mark Henning. This filly might need a race or two. By Carpe Diem, 7% winners with juvenile debut runners. Trust Today sold for $50,000 as a yearling. This is a nice little pedigree. The second dam, Harmony Lodge, I believe, won the Ballerina at Saratoga.
Yeah, won the Ballerina, and has gone on to be a decent broodmare herself. And there's kind of a lot of interesting stuff in the female family. It's a versatile family: sprint, route, dirt, turf. A long work tab on Trust Today should have some decent foundation.
Let's talk a little bit about the number 8, Dressy, going out for trainer Barclay Tagg. And Barclay Tagg and Junior Alvarado, that'll be a trivia question probably one day. Junior Alvarado teamed up with Barclay Tagg last year with a horse named Tiz the Law, who won his career debut. I'm pretty sure some of our friends at home have heard of Tiz the Law. As we take a look at Dressy's family, however, there's a lot of distance ability. Let's talk a little bit about her first crop sire, Air Force Blue.
Air Force Blue is a horse I'm really interested in. Of course, he's a son of Warfront, but he's, who's such a good international sire, and Air Force Blue himself, a European champion juvenile running on the turf. But Air Force Blue, actually from a pure Kentucky dirt female family that's produced the likes of Flanders, Surfside. Air Force Blue, I believe, now has 3 winners early in both the U.S. and Europe, running on dirt, running on turf. So I think his runners might be able, to do a little bit of both. Barclay Tagg certainly can win with first-time starters. You mentioned Tis the Law just last summer at Saratoga, but I see all the route ability in this one's female family. And again, this is another one where I kind of wonder what her ultimate future is going to be, but she looks like a very classy horse on paper.
Certainly does, and a couple of quick workouts as well. And as you mentioned, Barkley can get one ready to win. Here's the formulator fact. Past 5 years, 2-year-old debut runners in maiden special weight dirt sprints at Saratoga, 4 for 10. Big ROI, over $6. Perhaps one to watch, the number 8, Dressy. Your morning line favorites up next, the number 9, Lucifer's Lair. This is a Maryland bred by Quality Road. Solid with just about every branch of horse. Juvenile debut runners, 14%. The dam, a grade 2 stakes winner, going 2 turns. And the dam's a half to a 2-year-old stakes winning dirt sprinter. There's a lot of speed on the bottom of this pedigree. It's a Pletcher trained first-time starter. You would expect her to go well.
Very much so. And you mentioned Quality Road's getting so good with everything. He's really climbed up to be one of the elite sires in North America. Looking at his 2-year-old fillies specifically, he's had champion Caledonia Road. He's had Abel Tasman, who was, I believe, a grade 1 winner at 2 before going on to be a champion at 3. Plenty of class and speed in the female family. Just a lot to like here.
Completing the field, a live oak homebred trained by Mark Cassie, another filly by Ghost Sapper. The number 10 is Our Flash Drive, and the dam's a half to Fast Falcon, who I believe placed in the Travers going long. This is the family of Pool Land, a horse that like to go a longer distance of ground. And this is a filly that I just think is going to appreciate racing experience and more distance.
Well, certainly, you've mentioned those good dirt routers in the female family there. Another one by Ghost Sapper. Certainly he can sire a fast horse, but I've mentioned that I like them a little bit more with a little bit of age on them. Broodmare sire Dynaformer certainly injecting the stamina. I think this one's going to be very interesting going longer and even going on the turf. Ghost Sapper with horses like Better Lucky out there, a little bit of a hidden turf sire himself.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Sunday's Spa Baby Race, presented by our good friends at Spendthrift, of course, Into Mischief, sired the winner of the opening day co-feature for 2-year-olds, the Schuylerville. Lucifer's Lair is where we're going, Nicole. This isn't exactly your typical Pletcher first-time starter. The 7-figure yearling with the giant pedigree, but this is a rock-solid pedigree, a racehorse pedigree.
Well, it's a racehorse pedigree, and the thing about this race is sort of the theme is I think there are a lot of interesting horses in here, but a lot of them who are going to benefit from this experience. Wouldn't be surprised if this turns into a key race, and a lot of them who are going to benefit from added distance later. I think Lucifer's Lair might be best suited to win in this spot at this time. Won't be surprised if Dressy runs very, very well. Again, that's a classy horse on paper. I'd advise you to watch the board. Run Happy's debut starter in here should certainly show some speed. And Baba looks, again, just like a classy horse who could pick up a piece and benefit with distance later on.
I think it's remarkable that we have the exact same superfecta in this wide open Spa Baby race. We're both going 9, 8, 6, and 3. I'd probably spread a little bit after watching the board kicking off the late pick 4, use a little bit of all these 4, but we're expecting Todd's horse to run well in Sunday's Spa Baby race presented by Spendthrift.